Dear friends, this is getting crazier. We are literally being bombarded by global UFO footage. We're going to watch some amazing stuff for my dear friend Jaime Mason that just came out. Obviously, some is older footage. In the beginning, it's going to show some crazy ETs, some which I definitely showed you. As a matter of fact, one of them is from my dear friend Jonathan Reed, who I've interviewed 3 times and is going to come back to this channel. What do you guys think of these, alien mummies that they keep finding in South America? I know I've showed you that one. That was a trail cam. The one before that. Oh, wow. I remember this. Italy 93. This is the Jonathan Reed video. I think this is actually his opening, but I thought it was cool enough because I wanted you to see it. That is the alien interview from the mid 90s when it was released by this guy named Victor. Look at that. They have so much openness down south, south of the United States border, whether it be Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, all the way down to Chile, Argentina. I mean, literally, they do not hide this stuff. So it begs the question, why do other people try to hide it so much? That was the Stan Romanek footage. Remember, I was just talking about the Boo footage? Yeah, this is a great little compilation of some of the craziest aliens. Literally, we're just looking at aliens right now. And you can see we're going back 30 years. Remember, I was just telling you the last video, the Fresno night crawlers? That was them. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. It really begs the question. I've never, ever, ever seen, uh, you know, ETs like that. So are they just extra dimensional beings? That's in England. Extra dimensional beings that happen to be, you know, watching us, or just maybe they're ghosts. I don't know, because what kind of ghosts has a head and then 2 legs only, and the leg, there's no neck. The legs literally start where the head is connected. It's the most bizarre footage I've ever seen. Okay, now let's just start bypassing to get you to some of the UFOs, the global ones. What is going on? Because the media really stopped covering it for good reason. Many people said, well, the drone mystery must be over. Well, maybe the drone mystery may be over, but the UFO mystery and the UAP mystery clearly continues. Why do we have so much activity going on right now? I really would like to know. Are we on the cusp of something massive happening to us? He did this long live stream. He does a weekly show. I was actually on his show in 2012, the very first time, Tercer Millennial. I'm sure I was dubbed in Espanol because obviously he asked me questions in English and I responded in English. Okay, I think he's just showing this old video to compare for now for reference. I remember this footage. This is very old. I believe this is from the 50s. Yeah, look at that. Whoa. I wish I knew the city where this one was. Usually Jaime is very good at putting up the location, but for whatever reason, he's not. And the unfortunate part is I couldn't watch this with subtitles because I guess it was posted so recently, they're not available. Or maybe when they made it, they didn't click that option, because generally when I show you footage from Mexico, I always pre-screen it and make sure I hear everything or read everything in English so I don't get anything wrong for you, like I did make a mistake a few months ago where I jumped the gun and assumed something he was showing was right, when actually you guys in the comments corrected me that that was something Lou Elizondo had said was real, and then backtracked when he realized it was a reflection. And you guys in the comments told me about that. I actually had to clip that part after I remove it because I was completely wrong. If I had able to hear in English what Jaime was actually saying with regards to that one, was apologize, or not apologizing, just saying even Lou Elizondo got this one wrong. The one before was just a drone light show. I don't know why. You know why he put that up there? Probably for us to compare. Because, okay, now you see a typical hobby drone that they're used in these night shows, and then you see what's been going on globally with these so-called drones. They do not look alike. The ones that are appearing, the UAP drones, glow. which is very interesting. And they act in such weird manner. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen a ton of footage that is totally explainable. A lot of them literally just look like military drones. Sure, some are hobby drones, but I don't think very many people have been putting up hobby drones because there's now so many restrictions in the US by the FAA. If you were to put up a drone in New Jersey while this stuff is going on, you'd probably get in a little bit of trouble these days because they literally made it a no-fly zone for the time being until they get to the bottom of this mystery, which in my opinion, they're never going to tell us, folks. And let me tell you why we're never going to have disclosure. Isn't that gnarly? What is that going around? This reminds me of something we covered on Third Phase of Moon. If you remember, I was in that episode. A lot of times I'm in the episode, other times I'm not. And the times I'm not that I feel the footage is relevant, I'll cover it here. And sometimes it's better when I'm not because you guys can hear all my comments. When I'm on it, I'm usually one of three people speaking. And I'm usually part of the reason they brought me to that channel was because I was the expert. I knew everything, everyone. Had relationships with every single ufologist at the time, and we worked together great. So that's why we're still working together 13 years later. Look at this, literally New York, December 27th, 2024. I mean, this is brand new footage. I've never seen this one yet. That's the great thing about Jaime. He does very, very well with people sending him footage, and he has a team of people scouring the net to find the most recent footage. Always, always, always. Great researcher, host of 60 Minutes, host of 24 Hours, anchorman, 50 plus years involved in journalism. Telemundo. That's the company the parent company that owns the network that he works at. But yes, he is the most celebrated journalist of all time in Latin America. He's basically the Spanish equivalent of Walter Cronkite put together with Bill Curtis, put together with Robert Stack of Unsolved Mysteries. I mean, everybody you can imagine in the US that had a name, Peter Jennings, put them all, and Jaime is still above that, in my opinion, at least in regards to Latin America, because his show broadcasts in every Spanish speaking country south of the United States border. And of course, anybody who's interested in watching it globally, just go online. Now, are we looking at a biological craft, or is that a cow being floated up? I mean, that looks like a cow. Wow, I would not be surprised if. Well, is there a UFO above it? Because if this is a cow being floated up, look at that. That doesn't it look like a cow or a four-legged mammal? I mean, maybe it could just be weird morphing lights that look like that. But yeah, right there, that really looks like a cow. Because there have been so many farmers that say they've seen cows floated up via light into a craft, but they're not showing us a craft, so maybe all they saw was this. So maybe this is not a cow. Maybe that's pareidolia on my part, and this is just another UAP, a morphing UAP. It's crazy when they have the ability to morph different sizes and shapes. Okay, I think why are we watching this old one, 2005? Obviously, he's comparing it to something. These old ones, they're so irrelevant, other except for reference to compare, because we have so much new footage. You know what's cool is there is a great compilation of all 2024 footage, the best of the best. Do you know how long it is because we've had so much activity? Almost 6 hours, literally, almost 6 hours. If you want me to put it up, I will. I've actually used portions of it when I put up some of the interviews. Like when I put up the Roger Lear interview, the alien implant doctor, the background footage, the eye candy I gave you was literally the best of the 2024 footage. Only a portion of it because that was about almost a 2-hour interview. So I couldn't release 6 hours of footage in a 2-hour interview. But if you guys want to see it more, say it in the comments. And the next because some of you said you want to hear my original Third Phase of Moon interviews that I started to upload. I've already given you the Stanton Friedman, the Roger Lear. Unfortunately, my second interview of all time that I did, in the beginning was Travis Walton. That seems to be lost in the fray for whatever reason. When the network gave me all the MP3s, that was one that was missing. I didn't even know that until recently. And now, unfortunately, that network is no longer around because the owner passed away. And I don't know why none of the managers continue to keep it going. Maybe it's still operating, but the last time I checked, Revolution Radio was defunct. Very sad. Is that Project Bluebeam that is making us look like a cross, or is that literally, this is, look at this, 2025? What? We're seeing footage brand new. How does it say 13th de enero? January. We're not in January. It's probably a mistake. I'm guessing he's saying January 3rd, 2025, because we're not into January 13th yet. So this is definitely an error on their part. Wow. So we are literally looking at footage from within 48 hours. Yeah, brilliant researcher. There's something really amazing I'm going to show you right here, and then I will start to end it. I'll show you a little bit more. TR3B or what? What do you guys think, guys and gals? I mean, fantastic footage. We are really seeing so much going on here. Let me get my logo out of the way for you. Should have done that at the beginning, but that's irrelevant because you were still able to see all this. I love when I see structured craft like that. This reminds me of something that was on Third Phase of Moon recently that I wanted to put up, but I figured if it's been more than a couple days, then it was kind of pointless. So I just passed by it because I couldn't do anything at the time. The point is, though, is what do you think we're seeing? Do you think this is the sixth generation fighter? That is not a triangle. That is a floating pyramid. Those are even more amazing, in my opinion, because a triangle, generally the flying triangles are just flat. What is this? Hold on. Wait a minute. Remember, I just told you of the clearest footage over the last video that I put up of of a drone, a so-called drone captured. I think that is the almost the same thing as the one I showed you. Only that was daytime footage. Okay, I'm gonna skip the rest. Wait, there's a little bit more. Check this out. If you check out the video that was posted just before this, I believe it's titled "The Clearest UAP Drone" or something like that. Clearest drone footage captured. You will see a daytime video, very short, and what it was is over Paris, France. I believe we are looking at something that was very similar. Uh, I wish I knew the country that was in, but I want to say that that was probably the craziest, closest up footage. Okay, please, people, if you are filming UFOs or anything, take your phone, rotate it 190 degrees so it's horizontal, then hit record. Because if you start vertically and then you hit record and then you turn it sideways, it's going to be all screwed up. You want to capture the widescreen. I don't understand why people literally capture it holding their phone vertically. I mean, this was just common sense to me when I first got an iPhone and started to use it for recording things. The first thing I did was rotate it sideways. So the fact that people are still not doing that, please, I beg you, when you film something, turn your phone sideways, then hit record and try to capture as many reference points as you can, whether it be a tower, a telephone pole, a building, anything. Because if it's just something like this without a reference point, we have no idea how, with the distance of it. Now there's reference points. That's exactly what I'm hoping all of you guys and gals can do. Capture anything in the frame. Put anything, the corner of a building, chain link fence, anything to show us where in the sky it is, and most importantly, we could figure out, we could discern the height. Okay, let's check these last ones out. These are really amazing shots. Wow. Okay, so everything in this video, aside from the stuff that's labeled old, literally is within the last month and some within the last couple days. This is fantastic. I'm really, really glad I was able to see this and immediately say, you know what? My fellow viewers, researchers, friends, abductees, everybody should see this because we are not alone, people. We've never been alone. Yeah, it's mind boggling. This actually reminds me of something that I was able to see. There is this guy. His name is Robert Bingham, and he calls himself the UFO summoner. I went to one of the summonings. I was curious, and I figured, well, if nothing happens, I was studying for the bar exam at the time. I will sit under a tree and study. If something happens, then great. Well, sure enough, this guy meditated, looking up in the sky, and within a couple minutes, something appeared. Two orbs appeared very high up, and we filmed them. There was about 50 people. The reaction was crazy. You could actually see that footage on Third Phase of Moon. Go back to May 2012, and there's multiple angles. There's the footage I captured is in there, but more importantly, there was a professional cameraman that captured the audience, including myself, you know, pointing up at it and freaking out. There it is. There it is. That was a life-changing moment for me, but that wasn't the only time I'd seen something. Uh, this looks like one of those biological plasma orbs that have a mind of their own. Let's see what we got here on December 23rd, 2024. Wow. Oh, Juanito Juan. This is the guy that gave me the amazing gray videos that I showed you. The one by the truck and the one by the wall. And then if you remember, it also had that crazy orb that was in his house, like like inches away from his hand. Mind-boggling. This guy is a legit abductee, contactee, and I some of the most amazing footage going around is from this guy, Juanito Juan. I will keep bringing you footage from Juanito Juan. If I had known this was actually part of it, because I watched almost all of this, I didn't get to this part. I probably would have cut off a section just for Juanito Juan, because this guy clearly he is important to them somehow, because they keep visiting him. People around him keep seeing this. Apparently, he's always on Facebook Live talking about it, but when he's on there, sometimes things show up in the stream totally unexpected. This guy is a legitimate contactee. You know, Jaime has interviewed him multiple times, and I don't think there's any reason this guy is lying. There's no incentive. Not at all. Okay, folks, that is all the Jaime Maussan footage for you today. What do you guys all think of that? Love to hear your comments. Hey, also, please super chat me. I could definitely use the support. And I want to thank you all for those who write the comments, for those of you who are sending me the amazing videos. And with that being said, I'll catch you on the flip side.